There are three types of communists in this world. The first is the true believer. This is someone that will absolutely enact violence in order to get to this dreamt up utopia. The second is the useful idiot. These are people who don't quite understand communism or the shortcomings thereof, but they like some of the ideas, and so they believe. And then you have the idealist. Now, the problem with communism is it's already pretty idealistic because communists believe that every single disproportionate sort of system within society is merely a result of a lack of access. So it's not that people are poor because they make terrible decisions or that they just don't know how to really work with their money. It's that people are poor because they just don't have money. And if you give them money, they'll somehow become not poor, which is not something that bears out in the evidence. And we have seen this in states and countries where they try to take care of people, giving sometimes people who live on the dole a lot of money. On the dole is British slang for people who live off of social grants, where they get actually a crazy amount of money, and yet these people are consistently, persistently poor. They never actually get themselves out of that hole that they are in because there's a mindset problem as well as everything else. But never mind that. We're going to be talking about the new police commissioner of the new police minister of South Africa, rather, and why he might actually be one of the most dangerous men ever to become the minister of police. If you like honest and rational conversations about the problems going on in South Africa, if I may ask that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also leave a comment because it does help increase its reach, allowing more people to gain access to this content. Thank you. Bye. So Firoz Cachalia, the new Minister of Police, falls into that third and what I would argue probably one of the most dangerous categories of communists. At least with the first one, the true believers, you know you're getting violence. With the second one, you don't have to worry. As soon as they realize how bad this is, they'll quickly snap out of it. It's this third group, the idealists, that is truly dangerous because these are the people that will fight tooth and nail to bring about this utopia, and they'll justify just about everything in order to explain away some of the shortcomings and shortfalls of the system. Now, this police commissioner, he's that third kind, and you'll see why South Africa is in for a very, very rough few years with him at the helm, and I don't think it's an accident that he was placed in this role.
But I do not believe that Skopskiet and Donner brings down crime. In fact, what it does is criminalize the police. Shoot to kill. Giving the police a license to murder.
Okay, so let's just quickly break this down. Skopskiet and Donner does bring back crime. You want the police to be able to respond to violent instances and situations with an adequate amount of violence in return. His word choice here is incredibly important. He calls it murder, not justified police action. Remember, when a police officer shoots a criminal that has a gun that is putting other people's lives in danger, because that's literally why police officers shoot criminals, it's not murder because the police was doing it in defense of others. They weren't acting murderously, and more importantly, as people, we give the state a complete sort of monopoly on the use of violence so that they can keep us safe. And the state, in turn, invents the police to be the arm of this violence to keep us safe. This minister is saying, no, the police should not murder people. That is such a cringe way of putting it. What are you going to do in a country like South Africa that has some of the highest murder rates in the world, some of the most violent crime in the world? This is a violent country. Are you going to take away the guns from the police? I would not be surprised, by the way, if this new police commissioner or police minister tries to push through maximum gun control in this sort of roundabout way. He is a true communist. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen. If you go through his what's what, you will learn that this man has been involved with the ANC for a very, very long time. He was completely part of the ANC during their anti-apartheid activism days. And then eventually he became the MEC for Community Safety, 2004 to 2009, MEC for Economic Development, 2009 to 2010, so under Zuma, Speaker of the Gauteng Legislature, 1999 to 2004, member of the ANC NEC until 2022. So this man is in there with the ANC, and he is part of the communist movement, right? He is a communist, self-prescribed communist. So in his view, he's probably going to make the following sort of, I think, appeal. He's going to de-gun the police and say that we need to get rid of the violence in the police departments. But in order to get rid of the guns for the police, we have to get rid of the guns for the population, because an armed population cannot be governed by an unarmed police force. This would not be surprising, considering this is a lot of European countries have the same thing, where their police officers aren't armed. And thanks to a massive influx of refugees and immigrants into Europe, we're now seeing the police in Europe more and more be armed, because there's just way too much violence for them to deal with. In a country like South Africa, this is not going to work. Roll up to the Cape Flats with no arms and see how those gangsters deal with you, right? So this guy clearly is a very, very big idealist that is going to be very dangerous for this country. It gets worse. I wish it didn't, but it actually does get worse. You guys remember General Mkhwanazi and his absolute act of bravery speaking out about the corruption that's happening in the police department? Yeah, Cachalia is going after him. Just listen to this.
I don't think that, ordinarily speaking, commissioners, there is a national commissioner. There is a process to be followed, and accountability is ultimately to the minister and to the president. That's how a democratic system should work.
Yeah, should work. If the police system and the police force isn't so corrupt that passing this up the chain of command simply will not work. General Mkhwanazi, by the way, is a man described by all of his colleagues as a stickler for the rules. He never breaks rank, never breaks form. He sticks to the generally accepted procedures. But what do you do when the people who are supposed to deal with this problem is the problem? Like, who do you pass that up to? I'm going to go to the national commissioner? Yeah, but he is corrupt. Like, he's the guy that I'm investigating here. Well, I'll pass it to the minister. Yeah, I'm also investigating him. So who do I pass this on to? The president? Well, I think he's also in on this. So you can understand why General Mkhwanazi could not do this. And you did hear him say, under ordinary circumstances. But you'll see in a second how General Mkhwanazi's days within the police force is definitely limited.
Otherwise, you have anarchy. Police are supposed to be outside the political arena.
And that's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Outside the political arena. He's going to make this out as if General Mkhwanazi is part of a faction, and that what he did here was attack another faction within the police, not because he wanted to get rid of corruption, but because he wanted his faction to win. This man is going to be dangerous. Mark my words. We'll soon be wishing that we had Mkhuna back, because at least when you get super corrupt ministers, they don't mind the police fighting crime as long as the police doesn't fight their crime, right? The problem with these sort of idealist guys, they mind everything. They don't want the police to fight crime. And I think he was placed there specifically by Cyril Ramaphosa because, well, he's a part of it. He was part of the NEC. He knows how corrupt the ANC actually is. He understands what his role is within this society. It's to make it look good whilst allowing the cadres to steal as much as possible. Anyways, let me know in the comment section down below how you guys feel about this. Are you worried as I am about this new Minister of Police, or do you think, no, we should give him a little bit of a shot? Let me know. As always, hit the like if you liked, the dislike if you didn't, and I will see all of you in the next one. Peace.